Good morning and welcome to Winnipeg. Now, today's episode is going to be a little bit different. It could end up being really short. I don't know how it's going to go yet this morning. But at 1:30 this afternoon, I'm supposed to be at the hospital for an MRI. My son's going to come by and pick me up probably a little before 1. So that means we're going to have everything wound up and uploaded onto YouTube and ready to go. Because I probably won't get back in time to do a final edit and stuff like that without getting really uptight. I might make it, but I might not. So I don't want to take a chance. So I'm going to be cutting it off pretty early here. Now, it says, do not eat or drink 4 hours prior to exam. Well, if the exam is at 2, that means that at 10 in the morning, I've got to stop the coffee. So let's just for the fun of it, let's try something. Hey Google, set alarm for 9:30 a.m. All right, I created an alarm for 9:30 a.m. Okay, we'll see what happens. I'll remember anyway, but that was kind of fun. Yeah. Okay. Now, there's a couple of little things I wanted to mention here about the annealing that we did yesterday that was such a disaster. So I'm just going to sort of recompose here and talk about that. And yeah, I don't think we're going to be doing any painting today. Although, mind you, there's not a whole. Well, I think I'm probably going to be busy trying to get that broken railing down onto this platform. Yeah. Okay, let's recompose. Now, one of the viewers, or members, I might say, of Jim Steen's 1/200 scale model ship group had mentioned that if I have the railing positioned like that, in other words, just inside that lip, in other words, he thought that this railing was supposed to go on the outside of this part, because you notice here how the posts come, behind the beginning of the platform there, and they should, I would think they should come more. See if I can actually get it. It's kind of hard to get. Okay, it should be like that. So he was saying that the railing should go around the outside, but I'm sort of eyeballing this here, and I'm realizing that if I was to put it around the outside, that the railing would probably, the post would probably be on the other side of the back of this platform. You know what I'm getting at? So what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to split the difference, and I'm going to enlarge the radius here so that the railing, instead of going on the inside of that lip that you're looking at, it would go on top of it. Then I think it would be just about exactly right. Yeah, I think that if it was to go on the outside, it's not, the railing wouldn't be long enough to go all the way around. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to find a dowel here that might be a little larger in diameter than what we used there before. Try a bigger one. Okay, this might be too big. Oh, maybe not. Well, I'm just going to recompose here and try and enlarge this. Okay, I'm realizing now that this dowel that I selected here is too large. So we'll try and find one the next size down, which is this one. These are in increments of a 64th of an inch. So yeah, this one here is a little closer. Now I have been asked at least three times, where did I get these? Well, I got these from an outfit here in Canada called William Woodwright, and what they're used for, or at least what they use them for, is to disassemble a pen if you'd made it wrong and had to punch out the parts out of the brass tube. But you can get them on Amazon under different names, and yeah, maybe if I think of it, I'll stick the link in the description. Okay, now let's recompose and see if we can enlarge this. Okay, we still have our little pad that we made up yesterday. Put that right there. It should be in focus, more or less. And our railing here. And the spacer that I used yesterday, we'll use that again today. Now the idea is going to be to lay this down. Now we want to enlarge that radius. So let's just push down. Now you notice how it's opening it up. And I'm thinking that if I was to just push that in a little bit there. How was the other one? Just trying to eyeball it here. Okay, I think what's happened now is we have enlarged the radius. And I'll just go back and forth a couple of times just to make sure. I'd want to close it up. Mind you, I would be closing it up at this new diameter. Let's just open this up just a little bit here. Okay, how does that look? Do they look parallel? Or is one higher than the other? So let me check the monitor. That actually looks pretty good. Okay, let's try it on the platform. You know what? Maybe I could just leave everything right there. Where's the platform? Here we go. Although I think that what we have to do is look at it more from the top. Well, maybe not. Let's just get ourselves turned around here so that I can get it at just the right angle. Okay, let's try that now. Is it going to sit on top, or is it going to slip over the sides? Okay, I do believe should I have maybe made it a little bit larger in diameter? It could be that our friend was correct in that. No, I don't think so. I think I have to open it up just a little bit more. Okay, you get the idea here. It's still not quite right, is it? Could it be that Jim Steen's Facebook member is correct and it has to go on the outside? I suppose we could try it and see what happens. Yeah. Let's see if I can wedge it in place there. Sometimes trying to do stuff on camera is very difficult. I was listening to Jeff Donahue doing he's making a very unique piece of artillery equipment sort of a tractor that was probably used in World War I guess. Now, if I can just hold that down. Anyway, he was mentioning how sometimes trying to do stuff on camera doesn't always work out. Or I think he said I might have to do this off camera. So I'm not alone in that. I just trying to get it. Okay, I'm going to have to grab hold of this somehow and do it off camera. Sorry about that. Okay, you can see that I did finally get it on. However, now the posts are on the, you might say, inside of the platform instead of the outside. However, I am noticing that there is what appears to be a very slight gap from here to the beginning, you might call it the nose of the platform. So I'm just going to try and see if I can, what would happen if I squeeze this? Does it, maybe I have to come in from the top. Okay, how does that look? It's tight up against the nose now. Oh, you know what? I've pulled it up over the lip. Okay, bottom line is, on the outside, it is better. And it could be, though, that when you had it, when I have it, let's see, I'll get one of Gabe's used swabs here. If I could just put it on top. I know we've been this route before. You know what? I think I probably beat this dead horse to death here. You know, it could be that what a person would want to do is kind of squeeze it together a little bit, like this, and then get the nose in place on top, okay, and then CA that, and then spread this in place and use sort of like the holder downward type effect, and then see, yeah, I don't know, I'm just thinking out loud. Okay, let's move on here. Okay, this side has been CA'd on. However, let's be careful here now. Try and turn it over. This side here is still loose. And what I'm going to try to do here, oops, see if I can get the holder downward on there to sort of, this might not be the right angle. See, I don't want to put it there because that's where I want to glue. Ooh, it's pushing it off. Oh, Ron. Okay. Maybe these tweezers aren't gripping hard enough. Or maybe they're gripping in the wrong place. Let's try it there. Now if I could get this to sort of pull back and push down at the same time, we get this post, you might say, almost in the right place. I've broke it off. Okay, back to square one. Yeah, I wonder if my CA glue isn't as good as it used to be. Well, my alarm has long since gone off. I am not drinking any more coffee. Okay, now these little platforms have been pretty saturated with Instaset, and it could be that they're not going to want to stick too well onto the blue tack. All I have to do is just stay on there for the painting. We'll move in a minute here and take a look. Obviously, I had to do these off camera. Okay, now I used a combination of, well, I'll put them on the rotator and we'll take a close look. Okay, I used a combination of the CA thin and the CA thin quick setting, or extra thin. It almost looks like it's still wet in there. No, I think that's hardened CA. Okay, so I think that they can quite easily be broken off. And as you can see, I used a combination of, well, I didn't go around the outside as we were trying to do. I'm sort of on top, and yeah, they're pretty good. Let's grab the other one here. This one is not quite as good. I could have positioned the railing just a little bit better, but at arm's length you're not going to be able to see it. Okay, let's move on to something else now. Okay, I'm just going to use the manual here sort of as a background. Now, if you remember, we bent our railing. I haven't tried to straighten it out here yet, but I would think that if we just take this and push, maybe get it the other way up, turn it over. Come on. Now, if I wanted it the other way, okay, so now what we want to do is try and push this flat. So maybe I should use something else here. As I've said before, it's a good thing I can edit out the dead spots, because it took me a while to find what I wanted here. But I was thinking that if I was to use a microscope slide, I can see what's happening as I press down here. I'll move in a little bit. Okay, we are looking through the microscope slide here, and I'm thinking that if we can watch and see what's happening through the glass. If anything's going terribly wrong, otherwise we can't really see. Now, I don't want to press real hard because I'll break the glass, but I've basically got it flattened out there. But as you can see, it's a little bit askew. It's not straight. Now, I do believe that this particular piece has to go. Let's see if I can straighten this. That's some better. Let's get our glass back on there. Okay. Now, this was attached either right here, or it was attached on the other end. I think it might have been the other end, but it doesn't matter. It's too bad that there wasn't a post there. And now there is another thought. I think I've got some small railing from, oh, careful, stop poking at it, you're going to break it. I think I've got some small railing. If you remember way back in the early Bismarck days, Tony sent us a practice kit, and there was some railing with that. And I think the railing that came with that with a 350 scale kit might have been just about the right size. I'll see if I can find that. Now, while we're thinking of it, and speaking of railing and annealing and all that kind of stuff, one of the viewers was mentioning how somebody used a hot plate, you know, a red hot plate, and I thought, hey, my electric stove gets red hot. Maybe I could try that. Now, I'm not going to do it today. In fact,
I'm going to be winding this episode up. I've got to do the final edit and everything, get it up onto YouTube, and then get off to the hospital. So thanks for watching, everybody, and all being well, we'll see you tomorrow.